So I just finished watching episode 6 of season 3 of SpyXFamily, and this entire scene is pretty much all coming in full circle. So you guys can see here, this gang, or you know, terrorists. They're terrorists. They're obviously taking these kids hostage, which is insane. You know what I'm saying? You know that these terrorists, the red cape or red wings, I don't know what they call themselves in the anime, but they are literally trying to start a war by kidnapping this entire bus of kids, especially these kids that are in a very elite class and all kids of politicians within the country and whatnot. And so I'm thinking to myself, the whole point of this anime and Lloyd, going undercover as a father to Anya, and of course getting low-key married but high-key, a good match for they were a really good match, good family, and of course now they got a Doge, bond. And so they're all doing this to prevent a war, all right? We don't want another fucking war. So they wanted the Red Circus, that's what they're called. This bus has been taken over by the Red Circus. Gonna go back home alive. You will cooperate, which is insane. And so the whole point of them doing all this is to prevent war, because a war will only create more deaths in the country, not in just theirs, but in the other country as well. So that's the whole interaction between Lloyd and his other buddy too, with the glasses and the afro. They're just trying to prevent more death. So I'm really interested to see how will they navigate this. Obviously they just took hostage over kids, bro. They took kids as hostage, which is insane. But how will they stop this and de-escalate the situation to not go into war? Because this is legit a reason to go to war. If there isn't any other reason, this is it. You don't ever bring the innocent kids into these type of situations. You never go after the kids. They're just innocent, they're dumb, they're ignorant, they have no say in this. There's no reason to go after kids. And so I'm watching this anime and I'm like, damn, Lloyd has a lot of work ahead of him. Anya is gonna have a shitload of work to do here, but I just don't see how they can just hide all this. Obviously all these kids now are witnesses and they're the hostages, so there's no way they're not gonna go back to their moms and dads and be like, yeah, we were kind of fucking held gunpoint pretty much, you know what I'm saying? And so there's I don't see any way they can salvage this and be like, oh, the Red Circus isn't a terrorist. Obviously they are, but who are they affiliated with? And then the whole debacle will only escalate the situation. It will create more problems than solve any problems. So I'm just extremely interested in to see how they're gonna navigate. But like I said, I really don't see them being able to cover this up and make this any better, honestly. But of course, this is episode 6, so maybe in episode 7 we will see what's actually gonna happen, how they're actually gonna save all these kids, and how are they gonna de-escalate the situation. I just cannot wait to see what happens in episode 7.